Today we're going to talk about factoring a quadratic equation. Let's focus on this top one first. Here you have a standard quadratic equation, which you've probably seen something similar either in your schoolwork, or in your textbook. But this is in the format of ax squared, which a is 1, plus bx plus c. So this is x squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so you may have seen this, c, right? So now, let's solve for this. I'm gonna do this. Key thing is just practice. So I'm just gonna put my two brackets here like this. And so I see the x squared, so I know this is x and this is x. Because when I multiply these two together, I get x squared, okay? So now I have to figure out what is the value here and what is the value here. So this times this has to equal to 48. So what are the factors of 48? At the same time, this plus this has to equal to 16. It's sort of like a riddle. So if you start thinking of numbers, you realize it could be 16 and 3, because 3 times 16 is 48. But you know that's not right, because 16 plus 3, doesn't equal to be greater than 16. So you think of other numbers, and another multiple is factors are 4 and 12. So you put 4 and 12 in here, you realize 48. And if you add those together, you get 16. So now you have to think about what is the sign that you use here. Because this is positive, these signs either have to both be negative, because a negative times negative is a positive, or they both have to be positive. And you know, since this is 16, and this adds up to 16, that these both have to be positive. If you made them negative, sure, it would be 48, but you'd get negative 16, and you don't want that, right? So you look at this equation we solve for x plus 4 times x plus 12 equals 0. So if you want to solve for x, you know that anything times 0 is 0. So either one of these needs to be 0 in order for this to be true. So if we said x plus 4 is 0, you know that x would equal to minus 4, right, in this situation. If you said, no, well, let's say x plus 12 was 0, then x would be minus 12. So the answer to this equation would be x is either equal to minus 4 or minus 12. All right, so let's go down here. Look at this problem. This is almost identical to this problem. The only difference is this is negative. It's a negative sign there. So if we fill this out, it would be something similar. X, right? So you go x, right? Again, you have to get two numbers here and here that when you multiply together, get the 48, yet when you add them together is negative 16. So here we had positive 16, so we put plus and plus, right? Plus 4 plus 12. So we would think about what could we do here. So we know that this is positive 48. So either these signs have to both be negative or both be positive. Before we said, oh, maybe 16 and 3 would work. Well, that didn't work for addition, because that comes 19. And it wouldn't work here either, because they're both negative. It'd be negative 16 and negative 3, and that'd be negative 19 when you add them together. So you know that that can't be right. But let's go back to the 4 and the 12, which we had up here. So we said, oh, 4 and 12 work, right? And we know the signs have to be the same. So you know they both, and this is negative, right? So you know it can't be plus and plus, because then you get plus 16. then if you make this minus 4 minus 12, that looks like the right answer, right? Because x times x is x squared. Minus 12 is minus 12x. Minus 4 times x is minus 4x. And minus 4 times minus 12 is plus 48. So you add these all together and you get your x squared there. You get the minus 16x, and then the plus 48, right? So there you got your answer. X minus 4 times x minus 12 equals 0. So then when you solve for this, either one needs to be 0 to get 0, because anything times 0 is 0. So x minus 4, x could either equal to 4, or x could equal to 12. So x could equal to 4, or x could equal to 12. Right? Whereas before, the answer was x equals minus 4 or minus 12. All right, so there you go. There's an example factoring. I think the key thing to learn factoring is to just try a bunch of problems. You'll start seeing the patterns and how to think about the relationship between this C number and this B number. Because the format of a quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c. All right, hope that was helpful. And please like this video if you enjoyed it, and please leave a comment of anything you'd like to learn about. And also please subscribe to this channel. All right, math is fun.